Moving on to my pseudocode, I first started by thinking through how I wanted to design the program, and I knew there were 7 players overall, each with a different planet and each with a different number system, and I knew a lot of the methods would need to be shared within the program. And to avoid being redundant, I decided on creating an abstract class called player, and I would extend it through subclasses by planet. So the first player is from the planet Hex, so the subclass is called Hex Player. So that's how that is set up, and every subclass, they have their own planet name and their own number base. So if a player is a Hex player, its planet name is automatically set to Hex, and its number base is automatically set to 16. That's just an example. And so I set up the abstract player class with setter and getter methods for all of its variables, and in the constructor it has the variables player name, planet name, year 1, year 2, year 3, which was the amount of home runs they hit in those 3 years, and then the last one was I have one more. It escapes me right now. And then in that class I also had abstract methods like 2 decimal and print results that would be extended within the subclasses. I also have a methods that convert base 10 numbers to other base systems, and that would be an example like 2 hexadecimal is one of my classes, and it converts a base 10 number I send to it into hexadecimal format. And I also have a method within this abstract player class to calculate and store the average for each player. The constructor I would use for the abstract player class, I decided would store all the variables inside the abstract class, so I would have to send all the variables I want to use for each player to that constructor so it can initialize its private variables. And as I mentioned earlier, the subclasses, I decided that when a player of a particular subclass was created, no values for the planet name or number base would be sent to the subclass because the subclass automatically defines it and sends it to its superclass. So the constructors for the subclasses call the superclass, but it includes its already predetermined values for planet name and number base. 2 decimal is overwritten in every class because each subclass has a different number system and a different planet. So 2 decimal, for example, for dozenal player, that's base 12. So it would convert a base 12 number into 2 decimal, and that's why it had to be rewritten in every subclass, because there was different number bases for each planet. So that's why it was different. And print results is the same way. It was set up so each player can read and understand the results in their own number system. So each print results is different because it converts all of the averages into a different number system. The batting challenge tester class that tests this whole program and it runs all the classes. Once I had the ideas laid out on how I was going to create the abstract classes and extend them, it was pretty easy to design the tester class. Mainly I had to do 4 things. I have my pseudocode right here, which I'll show you in a second. I had to declare the array list of all the players in the program, and I would add the players to it. Second, I had to convert all the home run values for each player into base 10, which is the decimal system, and then I would calculate the average for each player from there. The third step was to sort the list from highest to lowest based on each player's average. And then the fourth step was to print the results for each player in their own respective number system, which was the print results method I was talking about previously. In number 3, I mentioned it was sorting the list from highest to lowest. That's a method within the tester class. And it uses the bubble sort method. And I used the bubble sort method because it was more friendly to array lists, and I like working with array lists more because you can do more with them and they're more versatile than regular arrays. And there was only 7 players in the list, so I wasn't concerned about that the bubble sort may be slower than other methods, because still it'd be minimal. It only takes a second, under a second, for that.